So you guys run a parallel operation and have a lot of the same crops grown both organic and conventionally.
Correct.
In my experience, a lot of producers are worried that they just won't be able to handle that paperwork to have both their conventional side and their organic side, and it seems like a big leap to jump totally into organics right from being a fully conventional farm.
Right.
So what are some tips and tricks that you say keeps it your ship running and not too worrisome? It's not too much of a headache.
I think the first thing is to get everybody on staff on board. There needs to be 100% communication between the shop and the office. So that's number one, and I would commend everybody who works here. We all do a really good job and try our absolute hardest to make sure that our communication is right there. Because mistakes can happen, and it doesn't even have to necessarily be malfeasance, but miscommunication, errors. Some guy can get in a truck and haul it in thinking it goes somewhere, and it gets really confusing. So without a great staff, it would be very difficult. So we've got that going for us because we do have a great staff. We've put some standard operating procedures in place that make it, I would say, very, very easy for someone to pretty much jump in, get trained up and ready to go. Mm-hmm. Those would be clean out logs, bill of ladings. We have field manuals, which basically have each individual crop plan for each individual field, what the seed is, where it's going, and I mean basically from spring to fall we have as best we can a game plan for where we store organic seed, where we store conventional seed. We have these clean out logs, the orange tickets you said. These are in the cab of every vehicle, so everybody knows that once we go to organics and we get cleaned out, you go in the glove box and you fill one of these out. Mm-hmm. And the same goes for our bins and our combines and buggies and everything. So. Really just trying as best we can to get it documented and get it documented when it happens, and really getting that mindset in of, okay, you cleaned out a truck, you're not done, like you got to fill out the ticket. Mm-hmm. And it can be tedious, but it's just what you have to do. It's what you have to do, and really it's just as much for our customers, right? I mean, you want to make sure that they have full confidence that what they're purchasing or what you're delivering is exactly what it should be, and we all take a lot of pride in that. So just from a point of pride, we really strive to do 100%, full cleanouts, a full logging of the cleanouts, full isolation, and just not really allowing there to ever really be a good opportunity for some sort of mistake, to come up. We really try our best to be very proactive.
Awesome, yeah. Have you run into any sort of unforeseen points of contamination in the operation, like realizing there's some GMO presence in some of your organic crops?
There's been, sometimes we've had, if we have a field of organic corn next to the neighbors that's got some GM pollen drift, that can come in, and we've had loads from our buyers come in, a load that we've, a contract of organic certified non-GMO that hasn't passed, and that gets costly.
Yeah.
So you make that mistake once or twice, and then after that you really communicate with your neighbors and get off of their rotation and really try to do your best, make sure your buffer rows are there, and doing things like finding the maturity of the corn, staggering that pollination window so that you don't have that contamination. There's really a lot of things you can do once you get in the right mindset to really mitigate those as much as possible.
Yeah. So for your communication with your neighbors, how did those conversations go?
Hey, it's me again. You can do whatever you want. I just would appreciate if you let me know so that I can plan accordingly.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
And is that for you guys, sort of when they grow beans, you try to get your corn
It can be difficult if they're on a corn bean rotation and we're on a 3 or 4 or 5 year rotation. It gets kind of, it can get out of sync a little bit. But basically that's it. We've identified fields that where we need to have really good communication, and then we've also identified other areas where, we've got fantastic isolation, forest and trees and roads and highways and space where we feel a little bit more confident or comfortable. So it's really just about identifying anywhere where there's potential risk and then just trying your absolute hardest to mitigate it.
Yeah, no, that seems right. Have you come up with any sort of tips or tricks for the new guy as far as delayed planting, or trying to, if you have to grow corn next to your conventional corn neighbor, for a delayed planting, try to get that pollen cycle out of sync?
Yeah, it's really, you have sort of an agronomic incentive to delay planting organically anyway, so that works to your advantage.
Mostly for weed control.
Right. So the conventional neighbors might be out there April 15th, and as bad as I want to get our planter filled up and be right out there neck to neck with them, getting her done, we'll wait 3 or 4 or 5 weeks after that, and if we're both growing somewhere in the 104 to 108 day variety, it doesn't really become an issue.
So awesome.